Last year on FM23, I created this video here. It's my most viewed video on the channel, the lower league destroyer tactic. A lot of people have had great success with it down in those lower leagues. And do you know what? The comments actually back it up as well. But in honesty, and when I look at it, in regards to 24 especially, it's kind of There is the 5-head tactic, and today I'm going to expose the life out of it and make it work properly. A content creator exposing his own stuff. I guess stranger things have happened. Right, so here's the video. I had a decent beard there, to be fair, and that's my old house. So it looks like I started off testing it with Bayer Leverkusen for some reason. Bayer Leverkusen and then Plymouth. Yeah, I did all right with Plymouth, 95 points. Yeah, decent. Hungerford Town as well, apparently. And they won their league. Okay. Now I remember, I went around the lower leagues in Europe. So there was a lower league in France, for example. They took it down. So yeah, I went through the tactic like I always do, trying to justify it. But let's be real about this, right? Let's get it up. That there. That is ridiculous. And this is why I don't make tactic videos anymore, because that is me trying to break the match engine, and I'm not quite sure what I was trying to do. Now, in FM24, if I'm trying to attack like that, I don't need to set up like that. Because remember, your starting setup is how you're going to defend. So how are we defending like that, and why is that winning? So we're going to do it again now. I'm going to go to Korea. I'm going to see the differences in FM24 and see if it's as good or if it's just an absolute train wreck, which I kind of hope it is. We're going to do the National League North, and for some reason, Bishop's Stratford stood out to me, probably because I'm predicted to finish 23rd. So we'll choose them, knowing they're not going to be great. And yes, we'll be suitably rubbish at managing as well, so that can't affect a thing. Okay, we're in. We're predicted to finish 23rd, and the ridiculous tactic I'm going to put in for them should mean they probably do finish there, if there's any justice in the world. So we've got to tactics, we've got a load tactic, and I need to go back to FM23 here to get the 5-head tactic. So if I can find it, there she is, even with the pretty thumbnail. In it goes, and honestly, what am I doing? What was I doing? So let me break this down, right? I've called this, in FM23, the lower league destroyer, right? However, I've got complete wing-backs playing. I've got ball-playing defenders. I've got sweeper keepers. What was I thinking? This is just trash. The way I like to play a football manager is I like to make a tactic based on what sort of team you've got. So I'm asking people to download that old tactic and then say, yeah, you can play a complete wing-back with tossing Olafemi, who can barely cross a ball, can't dribble, can hardly pass, and can hardly trap the ball. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to let this one play in FM24 and see if it is the train wreck I expect it to be. Right, so I put the best players in the team into that tactic. So your complete wing-backs, your sweeper keepers. So we've got Giddens here, who's going to be a sweeper keeper with his technique of 3. And we'll see how that goes. Now, looking at it, I expect them to concede an absolute barrage of goals and probably have a bit of a mare. So we've gone through to the 30th December 2023, the day before New Year's Eve, and let's see how they've got on. Now, in the league, they are a mighty 18th. Not quite a lower league destroyer, that is it. If I look at it in a bit more detail, we're 18th. They were predicted to finish 23rd, so some people might say that's fantastic. I say it's absolute awful. Because if you look at it, we've lost 13 matches. They've scored 43, fair enough. But they've also conceded 54, which is over 2 a match. Just horrible. And probably not surprising, centre-back Mark Haynes conceding 54 goals means his average rating is 6.6. So they just don't like this, and it's not the right way for them to play. So it's certainly not destroying the league, and it's not perfect or meta in any way. And I'm absolutely delighted with that. I have never been so happy to see one of my tactics completely fall on its ass. Saying that, if you do download people's tactics to learn the game, not an issue with that, but I'm just saying adapt it for your squad. And that's what we're going to do now, and try and reverse this and make them a bit better. So I've restarted it. I'm going to load in the 5-head tactic. There it is in all its horrible glory. Remember, that is your starting formation, where your players will start when you kick off and also when they revert to defending. So you can see it's going to cause you a whole load of issues. That is. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to create a new tactic, and I'm going to try and base it on that, but make it more reasonable, more sensible, more FM24 friendly, and less bloody ridiculous. So I've copied over the 5-head, so it's in both slots now. So I'm going to change this to make it suit my players more. Basically more suitable for a lower league squad. I'd also like it to be a tactic I like playing and I'm kind of proud of that I've built. We will make some tweaks here and there. However, out of possession, you can see that we've got a standard line of defensive line there. So I don't really need a sweeper keeper at this level, especially not. He's getting changed to a normal goalkeeper. Next up, you might not be surprised that I'm going to change the complete wing backs. They have no need to be in this squad. My players are not good enough at all. Instead, let's drag them back into full backs on support. We've got plenty of attacking options coming. I just want them to back it up. Same goes with the ball playing defender. Unless you get really lucky at this level, you want to kind of avoid that. So I'm just going to go with central defender. Now in midfield, we had a ball winning midfielder. He's basically alone in there while everyone else does whatever they want. But do remember, a ball winning midfielder, despite being on defence, will still go hunting the ball. So he's going to leave that midfield wide open. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop him further back here into defensive midfield on defend. That way he's going to have a nice view of everywhere and he can just cover it a little bit easier. Next up, I'm looking at it, and I know it's called the 5-head, which is probably a play on these 5 being up front. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm literally going to drag these 2 wingers back to get their starter position a little bit further back. At this point, I've got a wide diamond set up with pretty generic roles ready for a lower league team. My 2 winger roles, though, I'm interested to see what type of wingers I've got at the club, because I'm going to change them for the squad that I've got. Now, looking at my best team, despite wanting to play central midfield, McGregor's probably the best of the wingers, and he's pure right foot. He's not bad at crossing. He's got a little bit of pace. He's going to be a winger. So I'll go back to this and I'll take him off wing and I'll put him on winger instead. On the other side, we've got Walker. He's got a very strong right foot. He's probably more suited to an inverted winger role, so that's what we'll do. Now, I still want this tactic to be aggressive. I've got quite a lot of support guys going on here. So I'm going to ask both of these wide men to be on attack. Attacking wingers low down in the lower leagues is just something I like, especially when you start them further back. Now, the 3 up front, I'm going to keep. There's nothing wrong with an advanced forward with a deep line forward combo. And you've got this guy in here as the more advanced attacking midfielder. I'll keep that, not a problem. So the shape I've got now, I much prefer. It's a wide diamond. It's a take on a 4-4-2. It's not as stupid in defensive situations. It's a lot more solid and a lot more reasonable, especially in terms of roles for a lower league team. You're going to have more players that can fit into this sort of system. I'm going to change a few things in team instructions. Not too many. I'm going to change our mentality to attacking. Purely because we're going to really look to use our wingers and hit the space and go a little bit more direct. So we're going to go attacking. We're the underdogs, so it might surprise a few teams. To tie in with this, we're going to take away the shorter passing. And I'm going to take away overlaps as well because we're not using aggressive wing backs. I'm just going to let my wingers do that job. To start the moves off, because I want it to go wide as soon as possible, we're going to take away distribute to centre backs because they're not great on the ball. And the full backs should be a little bit better. Out of possession, we'll keep the same. So now I've got a tactic I'm much more comfortable with, one that's set up to play in the lower leagues, to be a bit more confident in lower leagues. I'm not asking players to do stupid stuff, and it doesn't look stupid on the screen for the sake of looking stupid. What was I thinking last year? So now we'll play that for the same amount of time as we played the other tactic, and we'll see what difference it makes. We return on the 27th of December, and things have gone pretty well. The team sits second in the league, and they are expected to finish 23rd, so those changes have made sense, and it's helped the team out. Now, we've played 24 matches, we've only lost 4 times, and despite looking like a less aggressive tactic, we've actually scored more goals and we've conceded way less. So that, to me, is a much more reasonable way to do this tactic. We're taking away all the fluff that I've put in last time in that abomination, and it's just a more structured, solid tactic built for that team that we're expected to finish 23rd, but because we took our time and made it a bit more reasonable, they're now second and gunning for promotion. Just a nice reminder that there is no perfect tactic for your team. It's best to build it for your club, and whatever squad you end up getting, like season preview, remember, for this team was 23rd. They are rubbish, but thanks to a bit of structure, we've got ourselves up to second and we're fighting for that promotion challenge. In fact, 1 point in it.